Hello, my loves, and welcome to this reading. It's good to see you, and if you're new here, welcome. I always like to give a little heads up before I jump into my readings because they are quite unique. Probably not what you used to from other readers. Um, yeah, I like to dive deep. I like to compare my readings with the journey. So if you are enjoying the process and you like to dive deep, then you're in the right place. Yeah, so let's begin. Ooh. There's something falling off the desk. All right. So, I do like I've been tapping into an energy while I was going about my day, about some chores. I went grocery shopping. I was listening to music, and suddenly I got hit with this wave of insights and emotions, and that happened 3 times with 3 different songs, and I could tell that there were messages in there. So when I was back home, I sat down and I tuned into the songs and I tried to, feel into the energy a bit. And so I was guided to write down parts of the lyrics. Like it's 3 different songs. And I did what, like, the way it came through by spirit. So I already have a bit of a feeling for each of them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to diving deeper into this. So I want to say, like, right at the beginning, this seems to be about love. It seems to be about a lost love. Someone, like for you, you're going through a process of, dealing with all the emotions that are related to that. You're processing. And so you could, like, this could relate to you in different ways. First, I thought this is very specific and almost felt like a personal reading. But the more I tapped into it, I realized, well, actually, that it has different layers to it. And so it could be that all of this is relating to you and it feels very, very personal. Another thing is that this is actually describing a grieving process. So maybe you find yourself in one of those 3 stages. And yeah, maybe so you relate with one of them. Maybe you can relate to all 3, but you recognize, oh wow, okay, I've already moved through that and now I'm here. Or maybe you are still moving through all 3 of them. That's also possible because grief never is a linear process. It's always moving in spirals. And so just work with it the way it resonates with you. We just go through all 3 songs, and you can also go about this the way you feel called to. You could listen to the song. I will say each song before I go into it. You can listen to it beforehand. You can listen to it after. You don't have to listen to it at all. Maybe this is enough. So just do with it. Work with it the way you feel guided to. And yeah, so this is a first for me too. I love it. I work a lot with song lyrics myself. My guides are communicating a lot through music with me. So I do feel like I'm connecting with a collective that is also very into music. And for a few of you, it even might be like that maybe this love is connected to music for you, that there's some kind of music connection that you have with that person. Or maybe it is for you like the memories that you have a lot of memories that are connected with songs. Maybe songs are reminding you of that person, or like you listen to a certain song while you were engaging with them, those kind of things. So yeah, let's dive into it, shall we? So the first song. Oh, and by the way, I will make timestamps. So if you feel like intuitively guided to go to the first, second, or third, maybe you just know, oh, the third song is meant for me, then you can just check that out. Yeah. So let's go into the first song. And okay, wow, okay. Whew. This is okay, now they're pulling me in deeper. So always when I struggle to find words, that it means like they are pulling me into a deeper trance. And holy moly. Didn't expect that to happen. All right. So the first song is called Low Light by Bluhm. And I'm going to say right off the bat that I got quite the scorpionic energy with it. Yeah, there's a lot of Scorpio energy with it. And so maybe you have a specific Scorpio placement. Words, not that easy. Scorpio placement, or maybe you or the other person, you're Scorpios, or you met in like around November, or that was the time, or maybe it's just the energy, the overall energy, or the feel of the energy. Maybe it is. So this is what I got with the song. It is this diving into something like really like with everything, and you just immerse yourself into that, and you just want to like almost like die in there. And I know this sounds extreme, but it's just diving into the darkness. And you will see with the lyrics, I listened to it, and I was guided to pick out a few of like bits of the lyrics. And yeah, so I love the way we crash into the dark. We're falling fast and chasing every spark. Low light, you and me, caught up in the ecstasy, secrets on the inside. That is like, that was when the Scorpio energy really hit me. So yeah, I just see two people like caught up in this, like in a night, maybe going out dancing, like fading into the beat. Also I like the way we fade into sound, just getting lost in something and just being swept away by it. A lot of passion. I can feel like a lot of passion, like this dark scorpionic passion. And wow, okay. I feel called to go and get another deck for that. Wow, this is turning really dark on me. Like dark in a way of, like I said, not bad dark, but the Scorpio dark, the love for the darkness, the night, the diving deep into the mysteries, into the unknown. So there's something very mysterious, maybe about that other person, or maybe about the connection you had. Yeah, I will get that deck for you. Just a second. So this is actually a deck that Pluto himself told me to get. He said when I was working with him a lot, and he was telling me to get that deck because I felt like all my decks were too, like, not in the right energy for him. So he did tell me to get that one. Yeah. Let's see. Oops. I do feel like I feel a bit ungrounded and a bit nervous. So there's this nervousness about like this excitement. When, you know, when you're really like swept away by another person and you're just so in there, and like the desire is just there, and you're trembling by the desire. I can really feel this want, the want in there. And it's almost like, you know, this feeling of like being weak in the knee. But it's very much in the heart space. It's heart expanding. So there was a heart opening in there. There was a heart opening in there. And again, this, I'm drawn to I love the way we crash into the dark. The crashing. Again, there's this desire and not caring, like we're crashing together. Kind of, I want to say Bonnie and Clyde, but that is too, yeah, maybe a bit, but it's not. I just keep coming back to this. It's not dark enough. It's yeah. I guess I get my point across. So if this is for you, you know it, like, you know what I'm talking about. If it is for you, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So we get the Nine of Swords in reverse. And I'm immediately drawn to this person that is, yeah, this is like being pulled under by this, like by something. I mean, it's a bit creepy here with those hands. And this weird mask-like head. But if you look close, this person almost looks like they're enjoying it. So there's something about like engaging with that darkness that gave you a deep sense of satisfaction, and it touched something inside of you that you were not able to access before. And it came out in reverse, and I'm, you know, I'm not like, I don't read reversals the way most other readers do. I'm always looking at it like, what is it? How does it speak to me? There's always something like there's a twist to the energy, because the Nine of Swords is very much about like a certain thought pattern that is torturing us. And so, okay, so I do see this being pulled in there, and we know it's actually not really a healthy energy, but there's something in there that we are enjoying about it. So yeah, why are people drawn to the bad guys? Why are they drawn to the darkness? And I don't know why, and I never really watched those movies, but I'm getting something about the movies Twilight. I don't know what her name is. She's falling in love with that vampire guy. Really, I never watched it, but I don't know why it's coming through. But yeah, so okay, so the twilight part, like the word twilight, yeah, low light. I also see someone walking home in twilight, barefoot, holding like shoes in hand. Yeah, I just see two people like kissing. It's very passionate. It's very I do get the sense of there something got activated in you that you enjoyed a lot, but it feels like it was actually something almost forbidden. And with these two cards that came out with facing down, when that happens, it usually is something for me like, okay, there's something either hidden or you kept it hidden maybe, or it's something you don't see, or maybe, okay, so there's something you don't quite, you cannot really make sense of it. You don't really can make sense of it, like why that happened or what that was for. And so again, it seems like something inside of you got activated. You were getting in touch with a part of yourself that you lost, that you were not allowed to live out before. And this person came into your life and just touched that deep inner part inside of you. And this is a certain, like this is a specific path that's what we might call divine feminines are called to walk, myself included, to really get in touch with those darker feminine aspects. And again, dark does not mean bad or evil. It simply means it's something that is dwelling in spaces that are deep, deep down, that are not in the light, but in the dark. And they have to stay hidden. They have to stay underground. And there are many reasons for that. I'm not going to go into that here now. No. But just like, let this be a confirmation for you. This is not something that is bad or evil. But maybe you feel called to keep this hidden, not to go out and talk about this a lot. This is a common thing when you're walking this path, because for one, not many people understand that energy. And it's also part of its nature. It is part of its nature that it's hard to share. It's really hard to talk about it because it's so much outside of words. This is, by the way, also one of the reasons why sometimes it's hard for me to talk when I'm connecting with this energy in readings, because it's in a different realm, it's in a different space, and like there are just things that we cannot really put into words. It can be felt. There is wisdom and knowledge down there that is just coming from a, like, intuitive wisdom. And we cannot really name it, or we cannot really say where it's coming from. And when you get activated into that, it is bringing you onto a path that is very intuitive, that is very bringing you into a more mysterious, also magical life. And this is what this meeting seems to be, like that was its purpose. So maybe you've been asking about that, like what was that purpose? Because it seems like you're seeing that there are reasons why it's not possible to be together or to come together. And that, but there's like this huge question of, but why? Why then? What was it all for? And it was really to bring you into in touch with that deeper, darker, like dark feminine aspect inside of yourself. Maybe you've been called to work with so-called dark goddesses, maybe witchcraft, maybe shamanic practices. They all have the capacity and the connection to those darker realms, like to get in touch with those darker realms. Yeah, okay, so this is what I've talked about, the Five of Swords. Like there is this feeling of, is this right? Is this something I should do? And maybe that was the reason why you kept it hidden, maybe from family, from friends, maybe even from yourself, like that you really didn't like allow yourself to engage with that further. Or you did it, but you had, like, there was this feeling of it's not quite right. And let this just be your confirmation, like there's nothing wrong with that, quite the opposite. You will hear me talk a lot about the spiritual idea of false light. And that really we do need to work with those darker energies as well. And there are some people called to do that more extensively than others. And that's their purpose here. Because it is very, very important that we do, that there are people doing this kind of work. And when you feel called to do it, then please do it. Please do it. And it's beautiful work. It really is. And like I said, I'm walking a similar path, or like my own version of this. And I love the light. And I think it's important that we connect with the light, but at the same time, it is also important that we connect with the darker aspects, because both are part of this universe, and both, like, there needs to be a balance with this. Yeah, so with the Wheel of Fortune, and there is not really a reversal with the Wheel of Fortune for me, because it's a wheel. It's just turning. It's just turning. And so this is giving this whole thing, what I just talked about with, it is important in this universe that some people are doing this work. This is speaking to me about that. It's really speaking to me about, like, the bigger movements in this cosmos and the bigger energies that are at play here. And we like to, like, there's this, I don't want to go too deep into that at this point here in this reading, but there is a trend in, I'd say, mainstream spirituality to gravitate towards the light, and everyone wants to be a light worker and an angel, and I don't know what. Nothing wrong with that. If this is your path and you feel called to it, beautiful, beautiful. We need that. While at the same time, we also need people who work in the other realms, in the darker realms. And this has to do with those big cosmic energies. And we have to be able to, as a collective, to work with both, and to value both. It's very, very important. So this is basically telling someone, or being a confirmation for someone. It's not just that you don't need to feel guilty about this, but actually it is a very, very important role. If you feel called to work with those darker energies, you are doing the cosmos a huge service. And this, it seems to me like you came here to do that. So yeah, this one feels complete. This one feels complete. beautiful. Went into a different direction than what I thought it would, but that usually is the case. So, all right. If you won't continue watching, then thanks for being here, and I would love to see you in the next message. And for everyone else, let's continue with the second song, and that is Robbed by Rachel Chinouriri. I don't know if I butchered that name, probably. Yeah, I will also like put them in the description so that you can check them out. Yeah, so I need to get out of that dark energy first. Just give me a second here. Tuning into the second song. Okay, so the energy of the heart space continues. And this time I was like, I listened to the song and I just wrote down the bits of the lyrics that stood out to me. And what I realized was, for one, this is not my typical handwriting. Like of course, it has the character of my handwriting, but it's more in cursive than I usually would write it. So it has a bit of a dreamy energy to it. It has a bit of a while I was tuning into that, I did feel like it was heart related. It was very much like dreaming about it, about that connection that you had, thinking about it, daydreaming about it. And it was very much, it has a bit of a nostalgia vibe to it. But also the element of clarity coming in. And this is very much like the song. She's basically processing someone she lost, like a lost love. And yeah, I'm just gonna read it out, and I don't know if you can read it, but yeah. So, absence pulled us closer, parallel lives, memories that don't exist. A story shouldn't hurt like this. One life torn in two. Nothing lasts forever. I should have recognized. I was robbed of you. Gone too soon. I was robbed of you. We were perfect strangers. Sad to say goodbye before I said hello to you. So this is bringing me back to a reading I posted today, for you. Like, it will be probably the last. I just link it up here, or down in the description. And so it was about like where I was sitting on a train station, and there were two buses passing each other. And I was just brought back to that image of two buses passing each other. And so this is something about like two strangers passing each other, like in a street, and just recognizing each other. I should have recognized. Like there's some like the feeling of regret in there. But I just keep seeing two people like meeting in a public space. Maybe you never talked to each other, or maybe it was just like something like there's like the sense of distance in there. Yeah, okay. So I do get a bit of sense of limerence energy, maybe even like this dreaming of someone, and There's just this feeling of unrequited love. Or maybe it was requited, but it could not happen. I do feel a lot of mental energy going on, like a lot of going through different possibilities, looking at it from every angle, every side. And yeah, with those fragments divided with the dots in between. And the thing is, the way I wrote it out, it is changing the meaning of the whole song. So maybe there is this connection where you are connecting different events, maybe, and that is something that we do when we are caught up in limerence, that we take certain events or maybe glances or things that have been said, and then we just make them fit into a story that we are telling ourselves. And I feel like I want to address, I am aware that this can be triggering, what I'm saying right now. And if you feel triggered by it, it's okay. That's okay. First of all, you don't need to listen to me. Second of all, if you feel triggered, but you still feel called to keep listening, there might be some truth in here for you. And maybe just be open to the possibility of limerence. If you're not familiar with the term, just look it up. There are a whole lot of videos on the topic. And it is something very common that happens in, especially the spiritual community, especially with people who are very, very tuned in. And so let me just say one thing about this limerence topic and how maybe so there's the way psychology looks at it, and it's really going all in. Okay, so you are imagining this, or you are just like caught up in daydreams, or in like I said, unrequited love, interpreting things a way that it's not real, or not grounded in reality. Let's put it that way. And there is, to some degree, a lot of worth in sometimes looking at it in that way and really questioning ourselves. Is that what I'm doing? And really to check yourself and look at it in a way of like, okay, so I do have those feelings, I do have those thoughts. This is the way I'm looking at it. And then there is this, like, what is actually happening in reality? And I'm not saying that to cause you to self-doubt yourself. If you feel like there's some kind of connection there and you feel like you get maybe pings and like telepathic messages and like all those feelings and signs and synchronicities, I'm not telling you that you're wrong. What I'm going to tell you is that you might be misinterpreting what you're picking up on. I'm pretty sure that you're picking up on something. If you do that, pretty sure you're picking up on something. So I'm not telling you that this is all imagined, that this is all in your head, that this is not real, that this is not happening. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is maybe it's not the whole story. Maybe you don't have all the cards on the table. Maybe you don't know everything. Pretty sure you don't know everything. Because if you did, and you would be in that like kind of energy, that you wouldn't be in that kind of energy if you knew everything. So the mind is trying to make sense of it. And so it's taking those different pieces and it's writing its own story. All right, let's pull some cards with that. Let's pull some cards with that. And I really want to say, I feel so much love for you, and I feel so much empathy with that, because I speak from experience. Like, I've been through that myself. And I do know that it can be very triggering to hear those kind of things. But at the same time, I also know the pain that is connected to that, to this not coming out of that limerent state. And to be hit with reality over and over and over again because there's silence, or because there is just behavior that hurts from that other person, and it doesn't fit with what we're picking up on. It doesn't fit with what we're feeling. It doesn't fit with like all the signs and the insights and like all of that we're getting. And there's just this huge like what we are experiencing and reality, what we're seeing in reality is just not matching up. And this is really painful. But this discrepancy, I think that's the word, like this gap between what we perceive, what we feel, what we pick up on, and what reality is showing us, this gap is actually where the healing lies. This is where you're supposed to look. And so there's something about like being in a cycle, that something is happening over and over and over again. And now I'm drawn to this set to say goodbye before I said hello to you. You know that it can't go on like that. Like, you've been in that energy. And if you stayed, you obviously feel like there's something here for you, what I'm saying. Because otherwise you would have just hit the dislike button and maybe left a, I don't know, grumpy comment and just left. Or maybe you just left. But you're here. You stayed. You listen to what I have to say. So you know that you cannot go on like this. And you know that the pain is just too much. It can't go on like that. So that's the first step, to know I can't anymore. And don't expect yourself to like that this is happening overnight. It's not. It's really not. Like, this is a process. It's a cycle you have to go through over and over and over again, with a lot of compassion, with a lot of love for yourself and patience. But at the same time, you also have to be quite disciplined with yourself. Because it will pull you under and suck you in over and over and over again if you're not really, really disciplined with yourself. And if you decided to say goodbye, stick with it. So this is another deck. It's related to the energy from this deck, if you watched the first one as well. It's not as dark. It's more romantic. It's a bit more dreamy, I'd say, but it's from a Ukrainian artist. So it carries a lot of that energy that I always feel called to say that when I use that deck. I find this very interesting. I think it's just like this very certain, it carries this signature of loss and grief and a deep love for something, like in this case for her home country and the towns that inspired her to create this deck. The root. So yeah, there's this deep love for your for your story, for your own history, there's a sense of nostalgia in there as well. And connecting with your own story, with your own history. Like maybe you even see like, okay, this thing I've experienced with that person, it shaped me. It did something to me. Maybe it triggered your awakening. Maybe it probably, like, I feel like it opened your heart space. It showed you something. It showed you that something is possible. A kind of love is possible that you always hoped for, but like you were not sure if this kind of connection was actually possible for you or even existed. So, but yeah, at the same time, you realize a story shouldn't hurt like this. So there was something in there that it already had parts of what you were asking for or wishing for, but it was just like it hurt too much. It just hurt too much. And you are realizing like this is not how this is supposed to be. Yeah, so with the 5 of Wands, I do feel like I'm done fighting. I'm done fighting the same battle over and over and over again. Somehow I look at him like they don't really look very enthusiastic about fighting. He does look a bit more like he still has his fist raised and the wand raised, but he's just staring into the fire and he's like, what is all of this for? I can't really do this anymore. This is all pointless. And that actually, like, this is what the 5 of Wands can teach us, that sometimes we just fight and fight and fight until we stop in our tracks at some point and just realize this fighting is bringing me nowhere. So there's something you've been wishing for, asking for, and this experience that you had is supposed to bring you there. To you being, I like to call it the conscious creator of your own life, and to act like the King of Pentacles is a manifester. Like the King of Wands is also a great manifester, but the King of Pentacles is the one who actually puts the work in, the physical work in, who's taking the necessary steps to get there. And it feels like this experience that you had was meant to trigger you into becoming that. So there's all this dreamy energy. And to me, it feels like you are actually, like, this experience, this journey is meant to bring you into a more grounded energy. To show you, yeah, this love you're looking for, it does exist. Like this, it can exist. This kind of connection that you're looking for, it can exist. It does exist. Is it with that person? I'm not the one to tell you that. But the thing is, yeah, the Hanged One, like you're taught a lesson here, and it's a quite uncomfortable one. And you're hanging in there longer than you have to. Like you're kind of caught up in that lesson. Because the Hanged Man is in reverse. Like it gives me a sense of like this is long overdue. It's like you've learned everything there was to learn from this experience. And again, like it's this, I do get the sense of like the lesson was, yes, the kind of connection you were craving does exist, but don't get hung up on a certain person or a certain outcome. And especially, we do get attached to the stories we tell ourselves, to the stories that we create around people, and especially when we are in that limerence state. Yeah, and like I said, it seems like you are hanging into this lesson longer than you actually need to. You've learned it. You've learned everything there was to learn. Yeah. So you are asked to jump into your new beginning. You are asked to let go. You are asked to say the goodbye, to stick with the goodbye, and to trust. Like the Fool is all about trust falling. It is about like, okay, I trust when I jump that I will be caught, and I don't know what's waiting on the other side, but I do trust that it will be better than what I'm experiencing right now. And seriously, like the universe has things in store for you you don't even know about. You don't even know that they existed. And sometimes we can't really ask for it because we don't even know that it exists. But what you can ask for is the highest love possible. The highest love possible for you, like this or better. You can say like this kind of love, this kind of connection, but better. Because there is obviously something in there that is not quite what you're asking for and wishing for, because it's not becoming manifest. It's not what you were hoping for. It's not present in your life. And again, this a story shouldn't hurt like this. If it really was what was like meant for you, if this was the perfect love you were dreaming of, it shouldn't hurt like this. It really shouldn't. Yeah, and I do get the sense that you are realizing that. You're realizing that for yourself. And you're coming into this. No, I want more. I want more. Sorry, yeah, okay. I'm called to get another deck. Because there is a bit of a low, a sad energy with that. And to be honest, like I feel like you actually, like I said, like you've learned your lesson. Congratulations. Like you've learned your lesson. We should be a bit more upbeat about this. We should be a bit more celebratory about this. But again, you know, the Fool here, like he's standing here and he's just gazing down and he looks kind of sad. Like he doesn't look like he's gonna jump anytime soon. And he even hung his bag here on that branch. And even the dog is kind of passive and just gazing down into the void. There's an element missing in this Fool card that you can see depicted in most others. Whereas there's this vibrancy, there's this, okay, I'm going to go in there and I just do the thing and I will, like, the new beginning. Hello, here I am. This is kind of missing here. So, okay, this is not over. It seems like it's not over. This fire energy you were pouring into, you were fighting for something that was not meant for you. And you put in like all your life force into this. It's time to redirect your life force. It's time to redirect it, because you've learned your lesson, and you're actually ready to jump, but there's no energy there to jump, because you are pouring your life force into something that seems to be dead, all over. There's nothing sexier than my authentic truth. Yeah, my love, what is your truth? What is your truth? Is this making you happy? Is this giving you all you need? Is this who you authentically are? Who you want to be? Is this your truth? I'm going to leave you with that question. And again, the affirmation. I love you all so much. And if you stayed here, it's not an easy message I've been giving you here. Kudos for staying. And what this is showing me that you actually know that I'm speaking the truth here. And that it's time for you to move on, and that you actually you want to find that, you want to do that, you want to channel it into your new beginning. And it's really just a matter of finding that, reconnecting with that energy inside of you, with that fire energy, and to redirect it and to channel it into your new beginning. All right, thanks for being here. If you leave us now, then yeah, I thank you very much for connecting in with this energy, and I would love to see you in the next reading. And let's go into the third song, which is Carry On by CATBEAR. Excuse me. Oh, I need to get a sip of water here. This is becoming a whole lot more extensive than I thought it would. Yeah, so I'm going to read it out for you. Another touch, another hurt, another enemy, another dust myself off, another cross, another wound, another memory. Is enough, is enough. Another house, another haunt, another elegy, another deep breath out, another roll, another cut, another remedy, another could have done more. For all we've done and what we've lost before, we will carry on. For all we've done and what we've lost before, we must carry on. So this is giving me the feeling of I've had enough. It still has a bit of a like there's more a bit of a. So the first one, there was all this passion. The second one was this dreamy energy. And here it's more like tiredness for one. But, and this is what I've been speaking about here. So it does feel a bit like a continuation. This fool feels quite like he feels tired. He doesn't look like he's going to jump. But with this, like there is a bit of like there is this element of acknowledging what is happening. Like, okay, so this is another touch, another hurt, another enemy, another dust myself off. Another memory is enough, is enough. I get this feeling of like, wow, so okay, I've done this. Like, how many times have I gone through this? Maybe with the same person, maybe with different person. But there's something, like there's this realization of I'm somehow stuck in the same pattern over and over and over again. But also the realization, like I have to carry on because I cannot be stuck in this. What I do see with this, like the way I drew the lines here is like, for one, it's this continuous line, and then it's just like moving in those circle spirals. So it is like you could view this as a spiral. And then there is like this moment of clarity for all we've done and what we've lost before. We will carry on. And then we must carry on. And then it suddenly is not moving in that spiral anymore, but it's still like up and down. It's still waves, but there is like this forward movement happening. So there is here with this energy, there is this realization of, okay, I'm seeing the truth for what it is. It feels like a continuation of this energy here. Like the Hanged Man is bringing us into clarity, into seeing what really is happening, and acknowledging universal truths. And in order to do that, we must realize what the reality is showing us, mirroring back at us. And so it looks like here is a lot of realization happening. It feels like the veil is pulled away, like it's a demystifying of things, and suddenly there is all this clarity. There's just like this naming of the wounds and the memory and the repetitiveness of it and the over and over and over again. And also another could have done more, like this looking for so this is like a two-edged sword to me, because there's on one hand, there's like, I could have done more, like maybe I could have tried more, maybe I could have looked deeper into myself, like I could have looked for more self-awareness maybe. But there's also this thing of like, oh, could I have done more? Is there something that I could done in order to turn this around? But it's just like, then you just come into those old cycles of repetitive movement and repetitive, just like going through the motions again. And at some point you wake up and you realize, no, actually there's not more that I can do, because why should I do more? Why should I always put in all that work and all that? I hear emotional labor. And so, okay, like I have this tingling feeling in my throat, and it's not just because I've been talking a lot. There's something about the throat chakra activation. And it's interesting because I'm drawn, like I keep picking up the same deck, this deck, the more darker one, the one I said I work with when it's like Plutonian energy or Scorpio, like this darker energy, dark masculine energy. But somehow it doesn't feel right. So like I keep picking it up, but I want to put it back. And this is speaking to me about this energy, like there's another house, another haunt. I keep picking up this deck, but like it's not the right energy. It's not what I want. So I just need to carry on. I need to do something different. Okay, so now I'm drawn to Moon deck, which is a feminine energy. And it's a lot lighter. Okay. It's a lot lighter. And it's in German. I will, of course, translate it. So yeah, I kind of got caught up in finding a good translation for it. Basically, it means like take out the speed, slow it down. So I got lost in my head and it took me out. And yeah, so this is speaking to me about this young card in reverse. And I don't really read it as strength here, which is what that means. Kraft means strength, but I'm actually speaking, it really speaking to me about the yang energy. So there is something about wanting to move forward quickly. And it's like, okay, so now the head is set on something, on a goal, on this forward movement here, this. And it's not that this is not the right thing to do, like to keep focused. But know that even if you don't move in the same spirals than before, maybe, it's still like there's still waves, like it's still an up and down. There's still some kind of movement, like still some kind of cycles in there. And yeah, we can get caught up in our heads and just wanting to be something in a certain way. Just like I just spend a few minutes trying to find out like how to translate it the best way. So I just got caught up in my own expectations of, oh, I have to get this right. It has to be perfect. It has to be a certain way. Instead of just saying like, okay, I don't really like those words, or like the perfect translation doesn't come to me. And so I just speak. Okay, so there's something about this like self-expression with the throat chakra. With this, I feel constricted in the way I express myself. And this is interesting. This is taking a very different turn. Okay, let's just look for like, what is the rest of those cards telling us? Unchained Moon, Borders. So this is speaking to me about, oops, sorry. Oh, okay. This is bringing me back into that first energy, into this first message of connecting with like the dark feminine aspect inside of us. And so something got unchained. Something broke free inside of you, or is in a process of doing that. And through staying committed to this, I have to carry on. I must carry on, and I need to break out of this cycle. You are freeing, for one, your own inner feminine. And now this young card is turning on me with the strength, like this restrictive energy, that energy that tries to keep you. And I'm not saying that it is the other person. I'm just saying, I'm speaking about energy here. And I'm always speaking about the energies that you carry inside of yourself. So there is a masculine aspect inside of you that is trying to keep you safe, usually, and is afraid of what will happen if that certain feminine aspect breaks loose and breaks out. now I'm actually there's something about Lilith here, about the black moon Lilith, the point in your astrological chart, with those 2 points here, because I mean black moon Lilith is just it's a calculated point in the sky, and I always forget what it actually is, but it has to do with the moon and the movement of the moon. And I think how far away it is from the sun. So the sun is the masculine energy and the feminine energy as the moon. So there's something about this connection of, okay, the feminine, the moon, is in relation, like seen in relation to the masculine. And this is where you're breaking out of, like, you are not viewing yourself in relation to the masculine anymore, but you are starting to see yourself as your own person and as your own force. And this is only possible through borders, through boundaries, having strong boundaries. And this is really what this is talking to me about. And so you can use this internal yang energy to actually reinforce those boundaries. And there's the sun up here and it's shining down. Again, like we've been speaking about redirecting that fire energy out of the, I'm fighting for this connection, I'm fighting for, like, I'm pouring it into those dreams, those and pouring all this energy into keeping something alive that actually needs to go. And then I can pour this energy into establishing really healthy boundaries, and I can pour it into my own yang energy in my own masculine part, so you can do what? Healing moon, seeking healing. So this is giving me a lot of, like, star energy from the tarot. I asked the question, like, okay, so I asked the question, like, what do you want to pour this energy in? Like, getting, like, having those strong boundaries and finding the energy inside of yourself for what? Like, where do you want to channel it? And then this card came, and it doesn't really give us a clear answer, but I see that you probably don't have the answer yet, but know that if you allow yourself to be in this healing space, in a protected space, because after breaking free from something like that, you will need time to heal. So again, like this, take out the speed, like don't rush yourself. Don't rush yourself. This is not a, like, this is not to, yeah, okay, you must carry on, you must go on, but don't rush into the new beginning if you're not, like, you are still in transition. You're still into transition, and honor the healing space you're in. And the thing is, when you try to push healing, we just make it last longer. Like, we just make the whole thing take a lot more space and time than it maybe would if we just accepted it. Okay, they want me to draw. Okay, last tarot card, and then one from that other more affirmative deck. Two. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is confirmation. So we have the Eight of Cups and we have the Eight of Wands, and they came out in reverse. So the reversal is speaking to me about, like I said, like we need to allow this energy to take up space or it'll take longer. So this is what the reversal is talking about. Like it'll take, like we block it. Like it is not happening. It'll just take more time to, it's like if we have like water, so we have a sink full of water and the drain, like it's clogged, and so the water it'll eventually it will all get through the drain, I think is the right term. At some point all the water will, like the whole sink will have emptied out, but it just takes a lot more time than if the drain is clear and it's not clogged. So yeah, this is, it's coming, but it's yeah, you can speed it up if you allow it to happen. And yeah, with the Eight of Cups, like you're leaving something behind, and with the Eight of Wands, the new beginning is already coming in. It's already happening, and it's kind of like leading into a more mystical experience. And I know that this looks like those wands here, actually, like they're all directed at the dragon, and it's as if they were fighting it. But it's actually speaking to me about, so there is something in there, but like some kind of more, like you're led into a life that is so much more magical. And dragon energy for me always speaks about creation energy. Dragons can be gorgeous creatures, gorgeous not enemies. Wow, okay. Gorgeous beings. Okay, there's something else in there that I don't really want to go into because like this is very long already. And it feels like this is just going like deeper and deeper. Oh, okay. So there are mysteries for you there. And it'll just like this whole thing will lead you deeper and deeper and deeper, far deeper than you ever could have imagined. But in order for you to be able to tap into that, to actually go there, you need to heal first. And like it's not like, oh, more healing, more time that I need to spend in that space. Like, no, that's not even what this is saying. It's more like give yourself the rest and time and space to allow yourself to like integrate whatever it is what you've left behind, to grieve it properly, to just arrive in your new existence. And this is a process that takes time. And it is perfectly fine that it takes time. Don't rush into the new, because you will need your strength and you will need all of your power to do what you're asked to do here. And it is something very magical. It's something very, very mystical, I can tell. But you will, like, you're still being prepared for that. And know that this whole thing here was an initiation for you. And you need to start, or maybe you're already doing this, but like it's important that you, But the more you start to view it as such, as an initiation process, and not as this tragic love story that went wrong, but really as this initiation of, for one, like being activated into those darker, more mystical, deeper feminine aspects, healing wounds, overcoming our own, I call them devil energies, like our own, like learning our lessons. And then moving into, okay, I'm wrapping this whole initiation process up. I'm realizing what that was. I'm clearing out the last residuals. And then I just stay in that space as long as needed to integrate before I can step into what is meant for me and what is my purpose, really. And it is something that is deeply mystical, that is crazy magical. And like when I only like started channeling into this, like it was like, whew, okay, wow, there's so much there, and I can't even, like, it's not my place to do it. Like it's your journey. But I just like I only dipped my little toe in there, and I already could tell, like, whoa, this is going deep. Whew. All right, my loves. I think that's it. Such a long, extensive, and wow reading. Like I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. But beautiful, really beautiful. All right, my loves. I thank you for being here, contributing your time and energy into this amazing reading. It's an amazing journey, and you can be proud of yourself for moving through that. Yeah, I would love to hear from you. I would love to read from you. Maybe you have some insights. Maybe you have something to share about your story, or about your process, where you're at, your thoughts. And yeah, just I would love for you to do that. Also, like, I love to read about it, but I also love for others to be like being able to inspire each other through that. And like you never know. Maybe you say something and someone else will it will spark something for them. So yeah, if you feel called to, just do it. I thank you so much. Oh yeah, I do have, if you want to support the channel, please like, subscribe, like I said, comment, and there's also the possibility now to buy me a coffee. And yeah, to help me keep doing what I'm doing here. I'm also working on setting something up so that you can book personal readings with me if you're interested in that. It's taking a bit longer than I thought it would, but as soon as everything is set up and ready to go, you will find the link in the description down below. All right, my loves, I love you so much. I wish you all the best with that, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you in the next video. Until then, take good care. Bye.